talk about that game and starting your coaching tenure with that type of contest.
Yeah, it was a good game. Just really thankful that we had the opportunity to play in this game. Thank the Cactus Classic for inviting us, and really thankful that we had a good opponent like Arizona. It was a great game. Things just went our way, and we were able to get the victory. But I'm extremely pleased with the way our guys played. And like I said before, this isn't about me. This is about these guys. They worked extremely hard for this win, and then it was just a great game altogether.
Taysom, at the end there, when you got the ball, what are you thinking going through your mind? You know, you got like a minute and a half. You thinking field goal range? Exactly what?
Field goal for sure. Going into it, we were calm the whole time. You know, Coach Detmer and I and the offense were talking through the entire process. We had 2 timeouts, 90 seconds. We need a field goal. This is what we do all the time. And so we knew that we had a great opportunity. And I think what really sprung it for us was that first completion of Moroni that really built and established the momentum for us to continue to move forward, and then allowed us to run the ball down, you know, to get the ball a little bit closer to field goal range. And it's a great way to win a football game.
Back to the front row.
Kwani, talk about the decision to go to a freshman kicker in Jake, and just tell us about it.
Well, you know, our special teams coordinator and assistant head coach Ed Lamb felt really comfortable with him, especially after the field goal and the PAT that we had earlier. We just felt like it was I mean, probably not a good time to do it, but Ed felt really comfortable with Jake being in that position, and we practiced it quite a bit, even with all our kickers being in that position. And Ed, you know, I had to lean on him as special teams coordinator to make that decision, and I was okay with it, and it worked out.
What was it like watching him actually make the kick?
Oh, I mean, I was excited, but you know, you don't wait. I mean, I just had to wait until it went through before I could even celebrate. And then I had all the anxiety of one more play that was left. So yeah, it was a great game. Really proud of Jake, and it was a lot of fun.
Second last row here on the right.
Jamal, what was said in the huddle as you guys took over with a minute 20 left? You controlled the whole game, and suddenly you found yourself behind. What did you guys talk about?
Mostly just getting downfield, and we knew we was gonna have to pass and have great pass protection, and that's what we did. And I'm just proud of how the offense came out, and we stayed cool and collected, and we did everything we needed to do to win. And it showed coming from practice, we do that all the time. And putting it in the game, it just shows how hard work and practice work. And I'm just extremely proud of my teammates and how they work and coming out with the W.
Here on the left.
Coach, after they went with the go-ahead score with about just over a minute left, what were your thoughts in terms of you and obviously Ty had been in that situation before? Had you guys spoken about that, or did you guys quickly huddle and talk about what was the next course of action, how you were going to play that series?
No, surprisingly, I felt calm. I have a lot of trust in our players, you know. And like Jamal and Taysom said before, we've been in this position in practice, and you really can't simulate it at all. But just the fact that we had that opportunity, I think these guys were excited for the moment, you know, and they stepped up to the plate and ready to roll. And so I think that, you know, it helps having great players, but just really pleased with the way that they were. I mean, if you look at their demeanor on our offense, they're ready, but the whole team was about to win. And I think the positive vibes paid off, and obviously, you know, we ended up winning the game. So it was worth all the time and all the practice put into it.
Staying here on the left.
Taysom, could you talk about after getting stopped on those 2 drives, the final drive, you and Jamal both running and making key plays? Can you talk about the energy it took that late in the game, and especially with Jamal, he had a lot of carries?
Yeah, Jamal's MVP for sure. He carried us, and he was a beast the entire game. And I think I was not surprised, right? When we needed a big play, Jamal stepped up. And I think throughout the course of the game, going into the last drive, guys, you know, were looking around the huddle, and I think it was important to feel the energy and the confidence coming from, you know, me as I was calling plays in the huddle. And I made sure I told the guys, like, hey, we're good. You know, we've got plenty of time here. And I'll try to talk to him before he's playing the huddle. And you know, guys continue to make plays, and they continue to step up. And it was a team effort. It was on everybody.
Second row on the right.
Kalani, you're being pretty chill. I mean, your first win as a head coach over a Pac-12 team on a last-second field goal, it's got to be pretty special to you.
Oh, yeah, but this is not about me, you know, these guys deserve it, so I wish you guys would ask them more questions, but like I said, I've been really impressed with the leadership on this team, and that's just the type of character that we have on this team, the guys that we have. And, you know, I'll say one thing about Jamal, we had some big time penalties take away big gains from him, and the fact that he was just hungry to get the ball again and to keep playing. You know, he had a great attitude about it, and our players feed off of that stuff. And these guys did a great job on offense, defense, and special teams. I thought it was a complete team win.
On the back riser,
Jason, this was a brand new defense for Arizona. What was difficult about dissecting it, especially some of the pre-snap movement they were doing on the line there?
Yeah, I would think they're a good football team. It wasn't anything that we hadn't seen before, but they had some good athletes, and they got after us, and quick guys up front that really pressured us around the edges. But I think we adjusted really well to what they were doing defensively. And I think a lot of it was we were kind of shooting ourselves in the foot. We were moving the ball really well, and we just struggled finishing drives. So it was a great win. Certainly gave us a lot of things that we can work on, and we'll get it on tape, and we'll break it down, and we'll make sure we're better next week.
front row here.
Butch and Francis, this is a top 25 offensive in regards to production last year. They scored points on a lot of people. In your preparation, talk about that challenge and what you guys were able to accomplish today.
I mean, we knew they were going to come out and just try to bring up their offense and kind of catch us off guard. And so, just throughout the course of fall camp, even the off season, we kind of practiced that. And then the offense helped us out a lot by slowing the game down. And so, I'd say that credit to them for slowing the game down so that we wouldn't have to run 100 plays.
What do you see on that pick?
I mean, right as he rolled out, I kind of just drifted with him. I knew there was a climber coming right behind me, and then he let go of the ball, and I knew I was going to get it. So.
Butch, talk about the preparation too.
I think the biggest thing for us was just to make sure that our defensive linemen were sound in their assignments. We know as backers that without our defensive linemen, we can't really do much. And what was nice was we saw throughout the game that our coverage from our defensive backs and safeties was on point, where they were in coverage for at least 5 to 6 seconds, and then our defensive lineman would get there for a sack. So it was just nice to be able to prepare ourselves from the defensive line to the backers to the safeties, and everyone was playing well today. So we did well.
Staying here on the left, the second row.
What do you think the major difference was between the first 3 quarters and the fourth quarter? These seem to get some momentum in the fourth quarter as opposed to the first 3 quarters when you guys pretty much shut them out.
Well, I think what I saw was that we weren't assignment sound in the fourth quarter. That's the only reason that they had those breaks. Is if we saw the first 3 quarters, they weren't running the ball, they weren't getting very many passing yards, but we kind of broke down defensively a little bit, but we managed to come back in.
Last question here, first row on the right.
Jason, Jamal, you guys did the work to get the ball down for that final kick. What's it like handing the ball? I mean, the winner loss. The winner, the loss is in the hands of the kicker. A holder, a kicker. In that moment, what's it like watching that play develop?
You just gotta have faith in your teammates, and honestly, you gotta stay positive no matter what, and you gotta believe in your teammates. And no doubt on that sideline, everybody was believing for him to make that field goal, and it was just great. And just to see him coming all smiling, it's just great for him to have that type of accomplishment. And we couldn't be prouder of him, for doing something like that.
Jamal hit the nail on the head. I think we just trust our teammates. I think it's a little bit easier when you feel like you can control the situation. So when I went to the sideline, I was just nervous because it was natural, right? I was joking around afterwards that there's been so much conversation about my age and being 26. I was telling the teammates that I'm too old for this much stress, But it was a great win. I trusted the kicker, and I trusted, Coach Lamb putting Old Droid in, and he did a great job.
What was the reaction with Jake after he made it?
Well, I told him I wanted to give him a big kiss. I didn't. It's just so much fun, right? When you put so much work in to performing, and then you have an opportunity, and he took full advantage of that opportunity. I couldn't be happier and prouder of him.